Storms over Varanth screamed against the fortress walls. Black lightning clawed across the sky while waves crashed against the cliffs, thousands of feet below the fortress of House Rain. Inside the war chamber, Lord Rain stood motionless. The broadcast had ended 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes. 20 minutes since Kenny Reach had stood before the galaxy and publicly challenged House Rain without technically challenging them at all. The war room was silent. No officer dared speak, no servant dared move, even the storm itself seemed quieter. Lord Rain slowly turned toward the tactical table. The image of Kenny still glowed across one of the paused screens. Calm, confident, untouchable. Every second of it felt like mockery. Then suddenly the table exploded. His fist slammed through the holographic projector. Metal twisted, glass shattered. Several officers physically flinched. He dares. Nobody answered. The Lord's breathing grew heavier. He dares stand before the galaxy and question House Rain. Still nobody spoke. Then Cassian finally broke the silence. "You are proving him right." The room froze. Lord Rain slowly turned. Cassian stood near the observation windows with his hands folded behind his back. The old patriarch looked completely unimpressed. Lord Rain stared at him. "He publicly insulted us." "No," Cassian replied coldly. "He baited you." The room became even quieter. Cassian stepped toward the broken projector. He wanted exactly this. Lightning flashed outside. The old patriarch pointed toward the shattered table. He wanted anger, another step. He wanted outrage, another. He wanted House Rain emotional. Lord Rain clenched his fists. "He attacked our reputation." Cassian laughed, actually laughed, a horrible sound. "No." The old man looked directly at his son. "He attacked your pride. That hit harder than any blade." Several officers suddenly became fascinated with the floor. Cassian continued. "You had every advantage." The old patriarch pointed toward the stars displayed on the remaining tactical maps. More soldiers, more fleets, more worlds. Then his voice lowered. "And somehow?" The old man's eyes narrowed. "The boy controls the narrative." Silence. Lord Rain hated hearing it because he knew it was true. Every move lately felt like Kenny was somehow 3 steps ahead. Every assassin failed, every spy vanished, every attempt collapsed. And now? The public liked Kenny. That was the worst part. The galaxy genuinely liked him. Reach had become the dream, the thing House Rain pretended to be. Lord Rain finally looked toward the military officers. "Prepare the fleet." Several officers immediately stood straighter. Cassian's eyes narrowed. "Don't." Lord Rain ignored him. "Ready the 7th Expeditionary Group." The room stirred instantly. Thousands of ships, tens of thousands of troops, a serious military force. Cassian stepped forward. "You fool." The Lord turned. The old patriarch looked genuinely irritated now. "You want to hand him victory? He threatened us. He baited you. He challenged us. He baited you." Every answer came back the same. The old man finally slammed one hand against the tactical display. The room jumped. "Kenny wants war." Silence. Cassian looked directly at his son. "But he wants you to start it." Nobody breathed. The old patriarch pointed toward Reach territory. "If you send the entire fleet." A pause. The galaxy sides with him. Another pause. The Empire sides with him. And finally, history sides with him. Silence. Lord Rain stared at the stars, because he knew Cassian was right. Again. The old patriarch sighed heavily, then finally spoke. "Send enough." Lord Rain looked up. Cassian pointed toward one of Reach's outer moons. "Punish him." Another pause. "Not invade him." The tactical map shifted. A moon. Small. Strategic. Home to one of Reach's orbital defense stations. The old patriarch folded his arms. Hit the moon. Destroy military assets. Force a response. Make him bleed. A slow smile appeared on Lord Rain's face. That he liked. Hours later, the fleet launched. 2 cruisers, 9 destroyers, 30 assault carriers, thousands of soldiers, enough to start a war. Not enough to finish one. The moon orbited Reach's outer defense line, a rocky world covered in canyons and silver dust. The first warning reached Reach space 30 minutes before contact. Inside Reach, command alarms erupted. Military operators rushed between stations. Fleet commanders activated instantly. Pines nearly fell off a chair trying to run and put his boots on simultaneously. "What happened?" An officer answered. "Hostile fleet entering outer moon orbit." The room exploded into motion. Lyra immediately started issuing orders. Defense fleets launched. Academy graduates scrambled toward transports. Across Reach, millions watched military vessels leave orbit for the first time in years. And then, Kenny arrived. The command center quieted slightly. The ruler of Reach looked toward the tactical display. Hundreds of hostile markers, thousands of troops, a moon under attack. His expression never changed.
Deploy 3rd and 5th fleets. The officers nodded. Academy divisions? Deploy. Pines looked toward him. And you? Kenny simply grabbed his combat coat. I'm going. The battle began above the moon. Fighters screamed through vacuum. Destroyers exchanged railgun fire. Explosions lit orbit like artificial stars. Then the assault carriers began dropping. Thousands of soldiers descended toward the surface, and Reach met them. The 1st Academy battalions struck before the enemy fully landed. Fast, aggressive, creative, exactly how Kenny taught them. Enemy officers expected standard military doctrine. Instead, they encountered chaos, ambushes, hit-and-run attacks, mobile kill teams, constant pressure. The moon became a battlefield within minutes, and then Kenny arrived. The transport ramp dropped. Silver dust rolled across the landing zone. 40 enemy soldiers waited nearby. Veterans, elite troops, House Rain's finest. One officer recognized him instantly. His face went pale. That's him. Another soldier looked confused. Who? The officer swallowed. The Eclipse winner. Fear spread, just like that. Kenny stepped onto the moon. The floating daggers beside him slowly rotated. Then the killing started. Fast, silent, efficient. A dagger phased through one soldier's chest. Another lost his throat before he could raise his rifle. A third fired, missed, died. Bodies began falling across the silver dust. The remaining troops opened fire, hundreds of rounds. Kenny moved through them like a ghost, every motion precise, every strike lethal. Years ago, Eclipse taught him survival. 2 more years taught him mastery. The battlefield became a slaughter. One squad rushed him, gone. Another attempted flanking, gone. Officers died, specialists died, veterans died. The moon itself seemed unable to slow him. Meanwhile, Reach soldiers advanced everywhere. Academy graduates fought like demons, not because they were stronger, because they were trained better. By sunset, the battle was over. The moon remained in Reach hands. House Rain forces retreated. Wrecked ships burned in orbit above. The silver landscape became littered with bodies. 5%. That was Reach's casualty rate. Only 5%. Military analysts would spend years trying to understand how. Kenny stood alone atop a ridge overlooking the battlefield. 40 dead enemy soldiers surrounded the position. His coat carried blood. His hands carried none. The floating daggers slowly circled him. Below, Reach forces celebrated victory. Above, surviving enemy ships fled into deep space. And far away on Varanth, Lord Rain watched the combat footage, again and again and again, each replay worse than the last. Because every battle showed the same truth. Kenny wasn't the problem anymore. Reach was. The boy had become an army, and the army had become a civilization, for the first time. Lord Rain felt something unfamiliar. Not anger, not pride, not hatred. Fear.